Finally, I have found some time to discuss the new set, and I think it is one of the best sets for PvP. Of course, its effectiveness somewhat depends on your class and build, but overall, it's a very strong set. I don't really want to discuss the PvE aspects, as it's decent for that as well, but my focus is on PvP. So, first of all, forget about using this as a full set. It's not worth it, but a 4-piece set is the best option for damage over time builds. Let's dive a little deeper into that and talk about why I really like this set. First, we aren't particularly concerned with the 2-piece effect, although it's nice to have increased duration on burn effects since our goal is to trigger the 4-piece effect as much as possible. If this is your first time seeing this set, let's start by examining its description. By the way, forget about the in-game description as it might be confusing for some. Instead, we'll refer to the patch notes for clearer information. 2-piece bonus. After igniting your enemies, their burn duration is increased by 30%. For a piece bonus, there is a 15% chance of igniting an enemy when dealing damage, burning them for damage over 3 seconds. This stacks up to 3 times. 6-piece bonus. After igniting an enemy, your attacks become more powerful for 12 seconds, cooldown over 40 seconds. Further attacks against enemies with 12 stacked burning statuses will explode, causing damage to the immediate area. Cooldown is 0.5 seconds. First of all, I don't like and don't use the 6-piece bonus. It's hard to keep 12 stacks on the enemies, so it often gets wasted. Besides, it has a cooldown. You can easily swap this extra 2-piece bonus for the Banquet or Baron set for better bonuses without a cooldown. By the way, the subscribe button on your app doesn't have a cooldown, so maybe give it a try. Now let me explain how I use this set. Currently, I'm playing as a Necromancer, but this strategy can apply to other classes. My goal is to activate the 4-piece bonus as much as possible. Our attacks have a 15% chance to trigger this bonus, which means we need to continually deal damage to enemies. The best way to do that is by using damage over time effects. For example, my bone spikes apply a bleed effect, and my bone wall can burn enemies. All these effects increase my chances to apply the burn from the 4-piece bonus. I'm also using gems like Viper's Bite, Everlasting Torment, and Seeping Bile to consistently deal damage to my enemies. This approach works well in battlegrounds even with low resonance. To further increase your damage, you can use gems like Pain Clasp and Mother's Lament. I particularly recommend Pain Clasp as it's almost always active. We've covered the 4-piece bonus, so what about the other set pieces? What should you use? Well, it depends on your preferences. I use 4 pieces of Baron set because the 2-piece bonus increases the duration of my harmful effects by 30%, prolonging my damage over time effects on the enemy and boosting my chances to trigger the 4-piece effect of the new set, Angmet's Conflagration. Remember, this was our goal from the start. The 4-piece Baron's effect increases damage from all sources by 20% to enemies under my loss of control effects. This part is optional. You could just use 2 pieces of Banquet to increase your damage dealt to enemies suffering from your continuous damage effects by 15%. This bonus is constantly active with our build's continual damages. I hope you understand the strategy behind this setup. This build works well with Demon Hunter, Wizard, and Necromancer classes. It's great for ranged classes, but you can adapt this new set to any class by tweaking your skills and gems to trigger the 4-piece effect as often as possible. For example, with Blood Knight, you could use 4 pieces of the new set and 4 pieces of Grace to trigger the 4-piece effect of Grace even more. I'm sure you can tailor it to your class and playstyle. I just wanted to share how I'm using this new set. I hope you can apply this information to your builds and have fun with it. That's all for this one. Thanks for listening and take care.